From gardening to animals to extreme renovations, welcome to Homesteading at College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today we're planting sweet potatoes. Today we're going to plant our sweet potatoes. I call them the homesteader's perfect food. And the prepper's perfect food too. Sweet potatoes grow with very little input. You use the tubers that you saved from the year before. You plant them in a bed. They come up. You keep a few weeds out. You put those in a bed. So every sweet potato set costs you $0, 0 cents. Once you're done, they might cost you something, but it cost me a total of less than a penny's worth of diesel fuel to till up the spot where the sweet potato sets were made. Okay, till up the spot, move the dirt, and then put it back over. So it did not cost me more than a nickel at the most for all the sweet potato sets I'm going to get today. So 0.001 cents a sweet potato set, I think you can call that nothing. So I'm going to get these sweet potato sets out of the ground today. I'll plant them in the garden, and they'll give us an average probably of about 700 calories a day worth of food on our homestead for the next year. So let's get down here in the bed and I'll show you what I mean. Here we are in our bed. I've got my traditional Dollar Tree bucket. I buy about 20 of those every 2 or 3 years. So, but we're right down here in the bed. My little back wouldn't cooperate. I couldn't bend over. I couldn't get on my hands and knees, so I'm just laying right here. I hope there ain't no chiggers. Anyhow, it's a brisk 45 degrees this morning, so I've got on my sweatshirt. But anyhow, let's take a look at our bed here, and you can see our plants. Now, right here are the sweet potato plants. This is one right there. Now, how you harvest that? You just reach right down into the bottom and reach right down into the dirt and just pull that right up. And what I did there, I actually got 2 plants. See, there's the root that went all the way down to the sweet potato down there. Now I'll take that and just put it in the bucket over here. Sometimes you get them big ones, and sometimes they're just small. Let me get another one here. Here's another set. Oh, that's not sweet potato. Excuse me. Here's another one. Pull it up. And sometimes they're not great big. See this one right here, the way it came? I'll divide that and make 2 sets out of it. Doing this one-handed is a little tough. There, I've divided that one out. And for some reference, that's a little bit longer than my palm. So those are fine. So I'm going to get in the bed here and pick out as many as I can, and we'll go and show you how to plant them. I've got a bucket full of sets, so let's go put them in the ground. Day before yesterday, I got out and plowed up this spot beside the okra. The okra's right over here. I plowed this spot and put my hillers on and made the 200-foot long hills. Now I only plant 200 feet of sweet potatoes. And that 200 feet of sweet potatoes generally gives me somewhere in the neighborhood of between 300 and 400 pounds of sweet potatoes. That is a lot of sweet potatoes. So Crystal and I could have a pound of sweet potato every day during the year and still have sweet potatoes left over to make our sweet potato bed. So we've still got sweet potatoes. They last in the refrigerator, or not in the refrigerator. I keep them in the basement. You've seen me do that. You can go back and see our video about storing sweet potatoes. They keep in the basement. They're still good today, and they'll still be good when I harvest these sweet potatoes. I'll take them out of the basement and put the new ones in, and probably give away last year's sweet potatoes, so if there's any left. Folks, here we are in the garden. Now, I do my sweet potato planting in a very back-friendly kind of way. Of course, I just take a set that I'm going to use, and I just drop it on the hill, and I'll go down the entire hill doing that. Here's another set, and I drop about a foot apart. I don't have to be perfect dropping them. But you do want to make sure it's a sweet potato set, not a weed. Alright, now I've got those dropped down through there for our demonstration. I've still got all these to plant, but the next thing takes a very complicated piece of equipment. It's a stick, and it had a fork right here, and I've cut the fork off very small so that there's not much for dirt to get hung in, and I'll use that to plant all these sweet potatoes. Let's give you a show right at the hill. Here's our plant. You just take your stick and you just push it as far down in that hill as you can get it to go. And if you've dropped one below the hill, you just take your stick and move it up to the top of the hill, get right on that root, and you push that baby as far down in that hill as it'll go. And you keep doing that all the way down the line. And if you put a leaf in the ground, it don't matter. And I want this one more up on the hill. I try and make sure I get them centered in the hill, because that gives them more room on either side. And see, this one's fell way down the hill. I want to run it up there to the top and then press it right down in. If I cover up a leaf, that's just fine. Now, those are all in. And I'll show you the next step. When I was a kid, we didn't have these pump sprayers like we do today. So we carried the water in buckets and used a teacup and poured on them. Today, we can just take this pump sprayer, fill it with water, and water these babies right in. And the minimal hole that we made kind of acts like a funnel, and it funnels that water right down to the root. You just want to make sure that every set gets a good drink of water. And those are ready, so I've got 200 feet to put in. those in. Took an entire bucket of sets. It's a 100-foot row. They're a foot apart, so I had to have 100 sets. So I've got those in. I've got to water them yet. But look at my stick. See how it's starting to bend? Well, that's making me have to bend over, and it's hurting my back. So now my back's hurting. So I'm going to have to select me another stick, and one hopefully won't bend like that. And but first thing, I've got to water these in, and I'll show you how I do that. I do it right from my Easy Go. I've got all these planted. Now I'll just drive the Easy Go right down by the row and water them all in. I know that I have to make sure that these tires are blowed up good before I come into the field like this. Well, I didn't do it, and here I am. So that's what I get to do this evening. Poo.
580784.
Second bucket, ready to go. If you like this kind of stuff, this homesteading, self-sustainability kind of stuff, be sure to come on out to the channel and subscribe. You can hit this little button and it'll take you to our channel and allow you to subscribe. It'll also there's also a link to our Facebook page where you find out what other things are going on here at College Hill Farm. We upload videos every Sunday, sometimes 1, sometimes 5. It just depends on what's going on that day or that week. So it's time for me to get on to the next thing.